everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie. I hope you are ready for another therapy session with Spirit. Today we are doing week 2 in our Re-Parenting series, and we're going to learn how to change expectations, placed on you as a child. So this could be like anything really. What kind of job you're supposed to have, how you're supposed to live your life, what kind of lifestyle you're supposed to have, where you're supposed to live, where you're supposed to go to church, how you spend your days off. Sorry, I'm in my PJs. It's laundry day. Anyway, I just finished my laundry and my cleaning. Yay! I love that feeling. So I'm going to get this Soulful Session done and astrology in a nutshell before I even go to bed. I'm ahead of the game today, guys. Oh my god. Alright, let's get into it and let's get some talking points. I picked up my cat and she's shedding. Now I feel like I have cat hair all over my nose. Let's see what comes out with this. Oh, I heard this one. Okay. I picked the topic in the deck, and Spirit picks the talking points. This is why it's a collab with Spirit. Soulful Session with Spirit. And I know I'm kind of like at an angle, but this is more comfy for me to sit like this. I guess you get to see more of my apartment. That's my front door. Exciting. Ooh, learn from life. Speak your mind. Meditation for creativity. Listening to wisdom. Oh, I heard one more. Spirit's like me, I'm a Virgo. Oh wait, 2 more then it would be 6. I miscounted, Spirit. Well, 6 on the board. Meditation for clarity. Okay. It's going next to meditation with creativity. So I guess meditation is going to be a topic. Change and progress. Top of the deck, fire magic. This is about passion, joy and delight. Follow your dreams. Plant the seeds. This will be your closing messages. Okay, perfect. Alright, talking point number 1 for reparenting ourselves against, preconceived ideas or notions, what have you. The first topping point, oh my goodness. Now all I can think about is ice cream sundaes with strawberry toppings. I'm on a diet, so all I can think about is sweet shit. Learn from life. This is, the difference between your parents and you is life and time. It was a different time. How many times have you heard that when you're talking to your parents or your grandparents? It was just a different time. We did things differently. But that's exactly the point. You have to learn from life. You have to see that times are different and your parents aren't going to know how to guide you, and what you learned from before isn't going to resonate with you as an adult. Sometimes this isn't what is placed upon from others. This is sometimes what we place upon ourselves. So in this area, we're talking about preconceived notions of your life and how you live, expectations you put on yourself. You need to learn from your life. How many times have you stressed yourself out and put pressure on yourself, built yourself up too much, and then you either overslept and was late for your test because you were spending too much time studying and not enough time sleeping, or you were practicing so hard all week that when it came to your game day or your match, you just didn't perform well because your body was tired and your mind was tired. These are lessons you need to learn about yourself, that maybe you push a little too hard Maybe you, like, this could be anything. Like me, I have a hard time saving money lately just because everything costs so much and there just isn't anything. And what little I do have, I'm always like, I want to buy something fun. Then you're like, save it, buy it, fun. It's like, well, it's so small. What's the point in saying, this is life's lessons. That small thing adds up, and then it adds up, and then it adds up, and then it adds up, and then you can buy something big for yourself. And I learned that, and I'm training myself that it's just like, you can listen to adults, you can listen to people who give you advice, but at the end of the day, this is your life, and you need to, it's not always up to other people to reparent us. It's 100% up to ourselves, and it's not always other people putting pressure on us. It's mostly ourselves. So experience life as it comes and look at life in your era. So if your parents, say you grew up in a home where your mom stayed home and your dad worked, the old-fashioned traditional home, now you're a parent and you want your wife or husband to be home, and you want that same role, even if it's genders or whatever. You just want one parent home and one working. You feel like that's how children should be raised because that's how you were raised. But life teaches you how you were raised isn't going to work for how you need to raise your family. Maybe, you have to look at the point. Back then you could probably afford to live off of one salary, and today you can't. It's just not possible. And although it could flip the script too, like maybe you both really wanted careers, and the cost of daycare and private schools is just astronomical, so one of you's gonna take on the parenting and homeschooling and give up their career while the other one's gonna focus. Like, you never saw yourself doing that, but you had to learn from life. I have these kids, my life changed, and now I need to do this. Life is your biggest lesson here. Life is your biggest coach, and life is the best thing to tell you what to do for your situation sometimes. Well, let me get some advice here. Let's go here. Learn from life. What else do we need to know about this topic, Spirit? Blue-ringed octopus. Recognize your emotional triggers. Exactly. Recognize how you trigger yourself. What triggers you to overstress. What triggers you to go in plan mode. What triggers you to go after things. What triggers you to worry about things. Because understanding those things is big in reparenting. Like, maybe you're sitting at the office. Say you're my age, 38. And you look at someone across the office who's 38. This would be my situation. I'll be honest and just using myself as an example. Sitting in an office, looking across at someone who's the same age as me. They have a photo of their spouse and kids, their dog. They have a camp and a boat. And over here, I got pictures of my family, but no spouse, no children of my own. And I can't save enough to have a camp or a boat, but we're in the same job. We make the same money. They just are better at it than me. You know what I mean? But you sit there and you harsh on yourself, like, look at how shitty you are. You should be that point. You should be doing what they're doing. No, this is where the reparenting comes in. That's their lane. You are in this lane. Perhaps what you're doing isn't something you have your heart into. Maybe they are passionate about the job, so they show up and for all the extra shifts, or they're just into all their sales. This is their calling. This is their niche. This is the thing that they're good at, what they're meant to do. That's why they're shining, because they're in their lane. If we're not shining, either something's wrong with us and we need to adjust our bodies, mind, and soul so he can bring in that abundance, or we're just in the wrong damn lane, point blank period. Time to pack up your desk and find something else, or look differently at your life. Sometimes our pressures and our mind goes crazy because we're run down, we're overworked. Sometimes it's easy as eating healthy, making sure your sleep schedule's good, making sure you're doing stuff on your days off and not just being lazy. Because I know that when I just waste my days off and I go back to work, I just feel like, I'm back here. I didn't do anything with my life. I'm back in the mundane. So getting up and using your time while you have it and like all these little tiny changes can create that happy person in yourself that you're idolizing, because you're not focusing on the negative. You're getting more sleep, you're eating healthy, things are working out better because you're paying more attention. Maybe that person lit a fire under your ass. Now you're getting up and you're coming in for the extra shifts and you're like, I'm going to beat them in sales today, gosh dang it. And so you do better and it's a motivation for you. But this is all talking about, we need to figure out ourselves out. We need to figure out the things that aren't going right. That's step one in reparenting. What pressures are we putting on ourselves? What delusions are we giving ourselves? Why are we looking left? Are we looking right? Or are we staying in our lane? These are all things that, number one, we should start here. Anything else I should say about this? African bullfrog, practice patience and allow situations to evolve. Yeah, practice patience with yourself, allow things to evolve. Like a lot of times we give up on things because it doesn't go our way as quickly as we would like. Like we don't see those instant results. So we just feel like it's a waste of our time when we move on to something else. I know I'm guilty of that. But Spirit's like, wait, sit in a minute, make sure you're really taking everything in, make sure you're being honest with yourself. Don't rush through the process of reparenting yourself, as in figuring out what your stresses are, figuring out what pressures and demands you put on yourself. By releasing that burden to yourself that you need to have something by such and such time, or you need to accomplish this to be successful, by learning to release that you become so much lighter. The pressure of yourself is far greater than what other people put on you, and this is what we don't realize. We are far worse to ourselves than anybody else. So if you can get on that first, if you can release your own stuff, it's only furthering you faster. All right, let's get into the second topic. Speak your mind. Yes, this talks about when things are going your way and you really feel confident. Like, say you work for a family business and you're trying to do things your way. Like, say your person, like your dad or mom or whatever, is stepping down and giving you the company, and they're doing it slowly and they're giving you responsibility, so you're taking responsibility and you're doing things your own way, and maybe it's not their way, maybe it doesn't bring in money right away, but the point is you're trying to get across to them is you're not going to run your life, your job, what have you, the way they want you to. You are a grown adult now, whether this be a parent, a family member, a friend. You are a grown adult. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for your family. You know what's best for your career. And when you feel strong enough, you speak up. Like, I don't want to do things the way you expect of me, or I don't want to do things the way they used to do them in the past. Like, that way doesn't work. That way isn't my way. That way isn't me. This is me. This is about being authentic to yourself. Let's see, what can we get here? It's learning to have that confidence in yourself to be able to speak up, regardless who it is, whether it's your parent, your boss. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be ghetto and cause drama, but these hours aren't going to work for me. I'm getting older now. I've worked with this company long enough. I should be able to say, no, I want to work day shift, or I want to work night shift, or what have you. Or know that how you discipline your kid or how you discipline me is not how you're going to discipline my kid. I'm not okay with that. Like, whatever it is, standing that ground, no matter who it is having the confidence to know that you are right for yourself, that it's okay for you to speak, and that you're not budging. Like, you're not... There's two people conversing. Like, you don't have to conform. You do not have to. Yeah, you need to take leadership when you feel pulled to. And you need to take leadership about your dreams and your passions and how you practice and perform your art, your craft, how you spend your money, how you love somebody. These are nobody's business. Nobody has a right to give you opinions here, and allowing people to overstep sometimes gives them the idea that they think they have a say in your life. But point blank period, you're an adult. Nobody has a say in your life and who you love, what you do, how you do it, how you spend your money. Once you reach a certain age, that is all on you, and that it's up to you to speak up. Like, I don't care if you think I'm being frivolous with my money. I want to live my life. I want to experience her. I don't care if you think I'm a homebody too much. I have all this money and I should be... That's your business. That's how you would do it. But this is how I live my life. Like, whatever it is, speak up. This is 100% effective in reparenting not only yourself, but the other people around you. Setting boundaries. This comes once you learn confidence. Nobody likes confrontation. Nobody likes to have to take those moments to be like, hey, slow your roll. But you absolutely have to. You have to be strong enough. You have to be confident enough to speak up for yourself as an adult, or you're just a doormat. And nobody is a doormat. Don't let anybody treat you that way, or you're just going to stay held down and stuck. That doesn't make any sense. I guess this would be for like gifted people, if you're like a psychic, a medium. I experienced this too when I was stepping away from... I grew up in the Catholic Church, so you can only imagine how they feel about tarot cards. And I had to tell them, like, look, I know you don't understand why I don't believe what you believe, or why... Like, I understand your thinking, but this is my life, and this is what I want, and... You don't have to understand it. You just have to accept it. Like, those reparenting moments are some of the hardest, because it's hard to face your community and their judgment. And you don't need to explain yourself, even if this is about being gay. And like, why are you gay? Why don't you like girls? Why don't you like... That's none of your fucking business. You need to learn to set those boundaries. Like, it's wrong for you to even be asking that. That's sexist, that's bigotry, that's racism, whatever. Call people out on it. This is how change happens. Alright, let's move on. We got meditation for creativity and meditation for clarity. So this talks about like how, like my creatives out there, how you create, how you put your work out there. Like, it's all coming from influence in the world around you and expectations, like the music industry has, the movie industry, the TV industry. They have a bazillion expectations of actors, actresses, directors, writers. Like, everybody comes in with this preconceived notion of this is what this is and this is what is expected of me. But it isn't expected. You don't have to march to the beat of this. You don't have to put your art out. You don't have to put yourself out. You don't have to cookie cutter yourself for an industry. And you don't need to make decisions about your life, like going to college or going into the service or getting out of the service or re-enlisting in the service or adopting a baby or having a baby. You don't need anybody's permission or say-so or confirmation to make these decisions for yourself. And you do not need to ever explain it to anyone. And if it just causes drama in your life when they ask you, why are you adopting and not having a child? Because that's what we would like to do. You don't have to keep feeding into the system of nosiness, of people who are just catty. You know, the people that come up to you and ask you questions. They've heard the gossip, they've heard the rumors, and they just want to see the look on your face. They just want to get a reaction. Like, I feel like Spirit's like, in those moments when we meditate and we think about all those things that we wish we could have said, and it creates anger, why don't you just say it in the moment? Their whole point is coming over to make you uncomfortable. Flip the goddamn script. Teach them a lesson. It's exactly what Spirit is saying. All those moments when you sit and you think about somebody who told you your art needed to be this way, or that you needed to do this with your art, and you either did it or you said okay, and like, instead of being like, no, this is why, you know what I mean? Instead of sitting home and meditating on those, allow those to come out of your body when someone tells you how to do your art because this is what made someone else successful. Reparenting comes in as in that's what made them successful because they followed their own path. They carved a path, and yes, some people get in behind and they make success by following that trail, but I am a trailblazer. I'm not a trail like hiker follower. Like, I plan to carve my own trail too. And if it can be proven once with that golden egg you're going on about, then let me prove that I can do it too. But it isn't going to be their way. It's going to be my way because this is my art. This is my passion. You have to know yourself, to have the confidence to protect your own art and to protect your own ideas before you even step into the game. If you can master this confidence, I'm not saying don't be open to constructive criticism or feedback, because that's important in your work, but don't allow anybody to tell you, you know, where you should put your art or how your art should sound or look. Because then you always have those moments where you're sitting and like, I gave up my power to that person. It never sits right with you. You never become peaceful. Tell me more about this. Yeah, your soul shines. You got to do what you feel is right. I feel like this is for a lot of the creative people. This is for a lot of people who, maybe if you're like breaking away from, maybe all your family was attorneys. You don't want to be an attorney. You want to be an art teacher. And your family gives you a bunch of shit and they say, oh, art teachers don't make anything. Art teacher isn't a real job. Come work at the firm and make millions. Oh, no. I don't want to make millions. I want to be an art teacher. I don't need you to understand. I don't need your permission, and I really don't need your side banter. This is my life. I'm glad that you like being an attorney, but I like being an art teacher. Bam! That's aggressive, draws a line, but it isn't exactly confrontational. You're not swearing at them, but you're putting them in that place. You're checking them. And the more you do that, the people stop fucking with you. Let me tell you, people are afraid to approach me because I don't allow shit to slip through. Yeah. Oh, you think that's stupid? Good for you. Did I ask for your opinion? Nope, sure didn't. You know, why'd you come over here and tell me that was stupid? Like, you walked across this room to tell me my art was stupid. Have we met? I'm gonna knock you off your goddamn high horse, pal. That's how spiritual people are. You get what you give. But this also talks about your calling, what feels right for you, and where all this, wait, is this right? Or why don't I feel okay doing things? Or like, why does everybody else feel okay doing everything the same? Why do I feel differently? This all comes from those moments of quiet in yourself. Like when you're sitting in church and you're listening, like, I don't really know if I believe in this anymore. Or you're sitting in a relationship and they're yelling at you and like, why do I put up with this? Like, we don't even love each other anymore. Or you go to work and you're just miserable and like, why do I work here? This job is crap. Like, all the changes come from those quiet moments, quiet thoughts in ourselves. So always go back to that. Those are the things, those are the siren calls, where areas in your life where something is wrong that you need to reparent it. Why don't you like your job? Why don't you think that you love each other anymore? You have to be a little bit psychiatrist and a little bit investigator with your own self, is what Spirit is saying. Anything else that you need? External validation. Exactly. You don't need everybody else to love your art or your work. You just need to love it and believe in it with everything you have. If you love it and believe in it and with everything you have, and you put it out there with gumption, and your soul is out on the stage or in the song or in the book or whatever your art is, like, people are going to stop. Your soul is being exposed in a way that only you can perform it, or only you can create it, because that's what you were meant to do, because that's your lane. That's where your success is. That's your pocket, and nobody can fuck with it. Point blank, period. Don't let nobody tread on it, and don't let nobody take that. And listen to those quiet moments within yourself when you're thinking, like, I don't really like my job. I don't know if I like this person. I don't want to live here anymore. Pay attention to those red flags. All right, so we have listening to wisdom. So this is like listening to people who've actually experienced it. Like, this is listening to your elders. Yes, it's important. Like, as much as we're learning to think and for ourselves and set boundaries, people who have lived beyond us, lived through it, there's a wealth of knowledge here. It's not like they're always telling us what to do. You can take knowledge from them, and you can learn from them. I always try to go to people who have like 50 plus. You know, if they've lived here for 50 years, they've been through some shit. They probably have gone through it a few times and would have a better idea of somebody my age. You know what I mean? So take advantage of those elders. Let's see what they say about this. What's listening to? Magic, yes. I can't tell you how much, I mean, it's Mother's Day. I'll use my mom for example, but I always go to her for advice, and it's like, she'll tell me something that's like so easy, and it like works like magic, and I never would have thought of it myself. And I'm like, oh my God, this makes it so much easier. Oh my God, thank you. Like, you're so right. Like, even it could be something like, oh, you know, don't worry, you know, the first you haven't, like, one time I freaked about my rent. I was like, I have to pay on the first, you know, or I'm going to get evicted. And Mom's like, no, in New York State you have until the 5th until they can do anything about it, and your next paycheck is on the 3rd, so you're going to be fine. And I was like, oh my God, really? You know what I mean? Like, the release, just I wouldn't know. I didn't know that New York State gave you a 5-day grace period, but she did, because she rented before numerous times, and with 5 kids, I'm sure she was late paying rent a few times. You know what I mean? The magic of their experience. Use that wisdom. Lean on it. It's a gift. Yes. Surrender that you don't always know. Like, sometimes they're not just trying to be bossy. Sometimes they're not throwing their weight around. Sometimes they're literally telling you how to do something easier, and it works. Or they're trying to tell you something that's really smart, and sometimes we buck off older people as just being bossy, just wanting to matter or wanting that seniority over us. And sometimes that is the case, but majority of the times, like, they just don't got time for shit. They're just blunt. They're old. Like, your patience dwindles. I'm 38 and I barely have any patience left. I can't even imagine me at 50. I'm going to be like, can you walk faster? I don't even know. Maybe not, but like, you know, I'm definitely not going to be able to tolerate idiots with a smile. But, you know, they just, sometimes they come across short or push it. Like, just let me show you. Just let me do it. Because they don't have patience. And that's genuinely not a joke. You lose patience as you age. I feel like that's why Spirit only lets you have babies to a certain point, because there's just not enough patience. They would be like, fuck that baby, let it cry. At 80, they're gonna, it'll be fine. I'll be fine. I lived through the Great Depression. I can cry for an hour. But no, it's like surrendering to the wisdom, really listening, and putting your ego aside is so helpful. But at the same time, this is listening to Spirit as well, listening to your gut. Like when my grandma did this to me a lot, she would give me a lot of advice, and it just wasn't advice that I wanted. Like, you need to find yourself a nice man so that you could have babies and stay home and you don't have to work anymore. Like, to her, that's, that was the role of the woman. That was her life, and she loved it. And yes, I would, now that I'm older, and it's been such a baby trouble, hassle having one, you bet your ass I would love to stay home. But back then I was like, oh fuck no, I was gonna have my career. Like, I don't need a man, I don't need nobody, I'm Miss Independent. Still am. Getting there. Slowly becoming tame. But that's exactly what I'm getting at. It's like knowing yourself, knowing what to, I don't want to roll like that, but I'm not going to say, Grandma, like, stop talking about it. I'm not going to do it. Like, she just thought she was being kind and sweet, so I would let them go, but at the same time, I'm not letting that sink. I'm not going to make it my life mission. Sometimes it's just better with old people to be like, okay, I'll think about it. I'll consider it. That's a good idea. And let it go. Let it ride. Anything else? Yeah. Stop listening to the crowd and listen to yourself in those situations. Like I said, when you're looking across and they have a camp and they have a boat. So we need to get a camp. We need to have a boat. But then your spouse is like, then we have a second mortgage, and then boat insurance, and, we're only going to have so much money left over, we're not going to be able to go on weekend trips anymore. I don't care, we need what they have. Don't need to listen and live to other people's standards. Live within your means, live within your own lane, and trust that you're going to get to that success when you find your thing. All right, so we have change and progress. Exactly. Every day, life is changing from the time before you and the generation before you, and you are going to be different from when your kids are parents. Like, every generation has this tiff of, we parented better. No, you parented better. We did things better. No, we're doing things better. So I don't know why this is, but I feel like this is what we're talking about. This also, to me, is like, move away from toxicity. That's 100%. The best way to reparent yourself is to just simply not be around people who are negative about your dreams, your ambitions. That includes family. Move away. Move to a different city so you only see them on holidays. Yeah, clean up your mess. Let me get a few so I can talk a little bit. Dare to be happy. And drop it. Okay, so this talks like, when you're getting divorced and everyone's like, oh, I wish you should have made it work, you didn't try, or all the judgy shit that happens. But Spirit's like, dude, that's you just cleaning up your mess, making room for what's right for you. Always trust your gut there, and be spiritual about it when you're reparenting yourself. Look at the situation. You set forth with an intention to live with someone forever, but that person wasn't your forever, and you're only going to harm them, and you're only going to harm yourself, and then you're going to cloak yourself in a dome of miserable, and nobody deserves that. So for the betterment of yourself and the betterment of your spouse, you're both going your separate ways, because that is what is meant, despite what the world tells you about divorce being a failure, about you not trying. Like, I don't care if you gave it 1 day or 1 year. When your gut tells you something is done and you need to move away from it, whether it be a career, a business, maybe this could be you with a degree after like 6 years of college. You don't want to be a doctor anymore. Now you want to go be a musician. So you're just going to go be a musician, and everyone's like, all that money, all that time, And who cares? If your calling is to be a musician, Spirit says, move in the direction. March to the beat of your own drum, and we're sometimes going to have to leave things behind, and that's the best for us sometimes. That's the best way to get what we want, is to get rid of, drop the karmics, drop the dead weight, drop the expectation. Simply give yourself permission to say, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you want. I don't care what's right or what is wrong for the world. I don't care what makes me successful to you. I don't care if you think I'm a goddamn loser. I'm gonna go. I'm going to move to the city. I'm going to follow my dreams. And if I fail, then I fell and I fall on my face. But at least I frickin' tried. At least I did something. Dare to be happy. Exactly. This is breaking the mold. This is your parents. All this plan of you going to college. And you're like, I don't need college. I'm going to American Idol. And you believe that in your gut, and that's you making it to American Idol, and you actually went in the goddamn show because you believed in your talent. Everyone said you were crazy, but you needed to go and try. Spirit says, always go and try, no matter what age you are. When that gut tells you to go, you fire up the engines. Dare to be happy. Dare to do you. Let them all. What are they doing? That person is crazy. I would never do that. Good for you, boo-boo. That's you. That's the way you need to live your life. Point blank period for every situation. It ain't about you. This is me. This is me, myself, and I. I am the star of my movie in this life. You don't get to be a supporting role unless I say. And I don't like how you're supporting me. Swipe left. Alright, so we have plant the seeds. To me, this talks about putting your intention, your heart, your thought, your soul into what you think is productive. That's in what you believe in, what you do for a living, who you love, who your friends are, where you live. What do you want to sow in this life? This row is your row to plant whatever the hell you would like. And this row is someone else's row, and they can plant whatever the hell they like. You don't get to tell them what to put in their row, and they don't get to tell you what you put in your row. And this row is going to be fabulous in its own way, and this row is going to be fabulous in its own way, and there's no right or wrong. If this person does their row the way their heart tells them to, and they put everything they have into it, and they pour their soul into it, it's going to be a success to some extent in that person's life. And that's going to be true for everybody who has a row. If they keep the blinders on and they don't give a fuck about everybody else, that's success as a human being, in my opinion. But let's get some more details. Ooh, hello. Yep. Look at this. The gardener came out with plant the seeds. Look at the synchronicities. If you don't believe Spirit is with us, hello. You just saw me draw that. 2 different decks. On the money. Spirit is giving you therapy. Yes, you are the gardener. You get to plant exactly what Spirit said. You are the gardener. You are born with a row. Stop planting what other people are telling you to plant. What do you want to plant? Do you want to grow some strawberries? Do you want a lemon tree? And who cares what order you put it in? Who said that you can't put a lemon tree next to that? Fuck that guy. Put that lemon tree next to that tree if that's what you want in your row. You know, you get what I'm saying, right? It's not really about fruit. But Yeah, the free spirits are the people who live the happiest life. They don't need friends. They don't care if people don't like them. They don't care if you talk shit. They're not going to get mad and offended if, they're sitting at the bar by themselves and someone across the room is like, look at that fucking loser by themselves. They're going to be like, look at that fucking loser full of friends at a table full of people, still ain't got nothing to talk about but me. Flip the script. They don't give a fuck. They don't have no limitations. If they want to pack up and move and get a tiny home and a truck and travel the world, and everybody is like, that person has lost their fucking mind, selling a 3-bedroom house, moving into a tiny home with 2 kids and a husband, and traveling the United States. That is the stupidest thing. Not to them. They're having an amazing life. Their kids are probably having the best time ever. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta do you. You gotta focus on your own row. Let them talk. If they're talking, you're doing something right. Point blank, period. They're jealous. They want what you got. Follow your dreams. Exactly. This is for all the people who, grew up as athletes. They're like, all right, son, all right, daughter, you're going to put this family's name on the map. You're going to do something great. You're going to be an athlete. You're going to be an Olympian. Your whole life has been regimented. But maybe you fucking hate that sport. Maybe you want to go to school. Maybe you're just hurt and you don't want to play no more. Or you resent them because it's all about the sport and not about being a parent. Or this is about, again, growing up in a family with a family business. Like, you're going to grow up and run the restaurant with your sister and you're going to pass it down to your kids. You don't want to fucking be in the restaurant business. Maybe you want to be a rock star. Whatever it is. This is about being told what you have to do, being born into something that you feel obligated to do. Comfort, 9 of Pentacles. People born into money, if you don't do this, we're going to cut you off. And you never lived a life without money, so you don't know how to survive. There's all those threats. These are for the people that stand up and say, this is what I want, but then, conform because their family is going to cut them out, or they're going to lose their job, or they're going to get kicked out of something. There would be a repercussion just because they don't want to see you succeed or leave. Yeah, this causes great sadness. Temperance, the Emperor, and Strength, and Death. Yeah, you only find peace when you stop caring about whatever they have over your head. When you stop caring about, think about all the people that walked away from millions, I know it was back in the day, but millions of dollars, and their family wanted them to marry someone who was rich, but they fell in love with their driver, and their family disowned them, and they said, I don't give a fuck. This life on the driver's wage is all I ever wanted. This person completes me. I don't give a fuck about this money no more. I care about this person. You have to care about your dream more than the 3D shit. And that's where your freedom comes. When you find peace and you take your power back and you tell them, fuck you. Keep your goddamn money. Take this job and shove it right up your butthole. Because this is over and I'm going to go start something new and I'm going to do this and you can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. I've been hearing that in almost every reading. Exactly. You don't let nobody stop them dreams, boo-boo. You don't let nobody keep you from who you love. You don't let anybody make you juggle in your mind. I want to do this, but I have to do this. This is my obligation. I want to do this, but I have to do this. I want to do this, but I have to do this. I want to do this, so do this, because the I have to do this is the fucking illusion and the brainwash they put in your brain, because the truth is you don't. Look at me. You do not have to do this. Whether you're born into it, whether you worked your whole life, it doesn't fucking matter. If you don't want it, let it drop. If everybody walks away from you, if you lose everything, build it back. Fuck them people. They didn't love you in the first place. You know how many times I lost everything to rebuild this life? I would do it 100 times over. It was hard. It was scary as fuck. I cried my eyeballs out, but there's nobody. Nobody's going to push me around. Nobody's going to take my shit, and I'm only going up from here. Because I learned to hustle. I learned to tell those people, fuck your money. I don't need you. All I need is my talent. I don't need to be controlled. I ain't nobody's fucking puppet on a goddamn string. Ain't no strings on this mother. Ain't no strings on me. I'm a real girl. Yeah. That's what you tell them. If they care, if they love you, they wouldn't threaten you. They wouldn't take things away from you. They just want you to be happy. Those are karmic ass motherfuckers. If they don't support your dream, they don't support you. I don't care if this is your parent, your sibling, your spouse, your best friend. I don't take nobody with me who don't ride for what I want and what I do. For somebody who don't look at me like, yeah, Lizzie, good for you. You know, they don't have to agree with everything I say. They don't have to be into what I'm into. But if they look at me, like, at my work, and they're like, good job, I liked it. Or, good job, go you. It wasn't my thing, but, you know what I mean? Like, they root for you. They can make it known that they're like, you're a fucking weirdo, but I love you, and good for you, and I get it. You know what I mean? They have to be about you. If they're not, hit the road, Jack. Motherfucker. Alright, so we have passion and joy and delight. This is about create those fires. You know, everybody's afraid to create a fire. As in, everybody's afraid to be the one that... No. That's bullshit. That sounds like the worst deal ever. I'm not fucking signing that. You know, room full of people, nobody wants to be the first one to say that, even if everyone's thinking it. They're all looking around at, like, who's going to say it first? Like, who's going to say it first? This is a total Scrooge of a deal. Once got to say it. And you're all looking around at each other. The free spirit at the table is going to be like, oh, fuck no, bro. The only person this contract works out for is you. You think I'm stupid? You gotta be that person. Be the fire starter. Like, everybody knows. You pull some dumbass shit at my work about us employees, I don't give a fuck if I'm standing by myself. I'm like, oh hell no. We are human beings. Give us some fucking fans. I don't give a shit. I will be the fire starter. This is how you create the life you want. This is how you get your success. It's not about being an angry person that everybody's intimidated by, because you have to be friendly. This joy and delight. Like, the biggest thing about success and the biggest thing about having good stuff in your life is being friendly and kind and being remembered for being a good person. But when those people check you, you have to let them know that that kindness is not weakness. Because somehow the world has been programmed to think that kindness is weakness. And no, boo-boo. Because in a second, I will go from sweet face loving you to cutting you in two if I think you are treading on my soul, my spirit in any way. That's how you gotta be. It's like the yin and the yang. You get the light or you get the dark. It all depends on your approach and what comes out of your mouth and how you treat me and what I want to do. Like, how you support me is how I support you. How you come at me is how I come at you. And that's how it should be with anyone who is an adult. You gotta create magic where you're meant, where you're called, where Spirit's directing you. Your only job on this life is to love who you're with and love what you do. And be a good person and help others. That's it. Everything else, life has made into a giant complication shitstorm. But it really is that simple. Your goals should be, I love what I do. I love who I'm with. I help people. I'm kind to others. But at the same time, I'm not a doormat, and I have the strength to say, get the fuck out. Don't talk to me like that. Or yes, this is what I'm doing. Point blank, period. That's how you reparent yourself. That's how you restructure yourself. And you walk away from these expectations. Voicing yourself. Choosing for yourself. Thinking for yourself. And not giving a fuck about what other people have to say about it. If you don't take anything else from this, take that. Stop caring about other people's opinions, about wanting their approval or needing their approval. You need your approval. You should want your approval. That doesn't make you vain. That doesn't make you narcissistic. That makes you smart, high vibrational, high priest, high priestess. And ain't nobody fucks with those people. They're movers and shakers for a reason. Become that energy. Don't let nobody tread on you. But be sweet if they're not treading on you. Know what I mean? Think for yourself. You got this. You know what's right. And if you don't, meditate on it. Go in and think for yourself. And don't let the fodder fill your mind of bullshit. Because then it gets really foggy in there. You always got bullshit thoughts and opinions you never asked for floating around in there when you're trying to make a decision. Like a white erase board. I don't know. Those are probably bad sound effects, but you feel me. I hope this was helpful. If you liked it, if you want more Soulful Sessions from Spirit, please give me a thumbs up below. Go ahead and share this to anyone who might need it. Talk to me in the comments. If you like my energy, please subscribe. To all my subscribers, you're so cute. I adore you. Thank you for your good hearts, for believing in me, for being on this journey. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day or night. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. By the way, next week's we will be the second to last of the series, but we're talking about how to stop stressing over things you can't control. That's a big one. I'm a Virgo. I stress all the time. I need my own therapy session. So be sure to check out next Sunday's Soulful Session with Spirit. Again, we're talking about how to stop stressing over things you can't control. That'll be a good one, right? Anyway, toodaloo, boo-boos. I adore you.